Hello, everybody. I don't know if this is live yet. I didn't really. Oh, let me change the title. That's gonna be weird. Uh, HOENN Starters. That's just what I'm gonna call this. And electric mice. And out. We'll see if I. Hey again. Hey there, Ibizantium. I just realized I don't have any music going right now. Let me pull some music going. We can get some stuff. Hello, Orondor. Back. Hey there, D-Mark. I'll get Ben in here in a moment if he's available, if he's wanting to. Okay. First, I'm going to pull up the music. Gotta get the tunes going, and then I'll message him to see if he's good for the Discord. We'll do Greengrass Island. This is X promo. This X promo is not easy to link up. Ugh. That'll be real fun to deal with later. Especially since I don't know I don't know Twitter. Hey there, Daniel. Good to see you. Good to have you in chat. Okay. Alrighty. Hello from Japan. Slow work day. Oh. Okay. I got the music running. We got the tunes going. Oh, I got locked and had to reset once. Oof. Okay. I've got so many tabs open on Google. I've done so much assessment tonight, or so much analyzing tonight. Okay, let me make sure that... Okay, I hope this is the... Okay, it is the... Don't worry about this. This is what we're looking at. Trico Torchic Mudkip. Is Plusle and Minun info out? Probably not. We just checked it like 10 minutes ago and it wasn't anything yet, so... So going to Cyan? Probably. Probably. Okay, let me... So for those of you that don't know, I was just on stream with iBen Brown. I was just on stream with iBen Brown. He was talking, we were chatting it up, talking about the stuff. YouTube's got a pretty cool function that you can do a shared stream. So we did that. Plusle Shiny is sad. Yeah, Plusle Shiny is not the best. Plusle Shiny is not the best. It's okay. Minun, on the other hand, Minun's Shiny is fire, and it makes me think of this. What is the oh, the math chord. Oh, there he is. I may have to crank. Wait. I may have to crank Ben's volume up. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Talk again. I need to see where your audio levels are at.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Okay. I'm just gonna crank you up. I want to make sure you can out noise the music.
I can hold my mic up too if I need to.
Oh, I think you're good. Here, yeah. I may have to also. I think I know how I can do this. I can probably turn down the music and then turn up the... If I turn down the music a little bit in YouTube, and then turn up my overall audio, that should work.
The best part about this is that I can actually look at Pokemon Sleep now.
Yeah, you can! That is true. Okay, and you should be audible for everyone to hear. Toothpaste Pikachu. Yes, that is Minun. No, so something that I wanted to show before, the Sceptile comparisons. I was making these just in the meantime. You can just, I guess, behold them. I don't know what to really say else about that. This is something that I find fascinating. Sceptile has piqued my interest. But it's alright. It's funny. I think it's the best berry specialist in the game. It's not even a berry specialist. Man, I don't have enough monitors. Well, I guess I don't have to have Discord open. Alrighty, well, good to have everybody here. If you didn't see the stream that Ben and I had going on his channel, we've migrated to my channel now because there were some problems with the technology aspect of things. But
I was gonna threaten that we would not leave the stream until one of us had 1,000 subscribers.
Oh
and
gosh.
The better bet would be on you to get there.
That'd be a lot of... I'd have to gain a lot of subscribers in one night. I'm like still over 40 away. I think most of my streams only get like 36. I got 34 concurrent viewers right now. Even if everybody who's watching was not subscribed and subscribed right this very second, I still would not hit 1,000.
Well, I'm pretty sure most of us that are here are subscribed, so...
Yeah, probably. Especially since you're getting notified of the thing stream. Although, I don't know, my title of HOENN STARTERS might draw somebody in. I had no clue what to name it, so I just... Because I threw this stream together very quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, thanks for pivoting. It's nice to continue talking.
No problem. I enjoy talking as well. Okay. I'm trying to get my tier list up because you guys were... Well, okay, I guess I can just say... I can just pull up my past video with it. Can't I? And say where you guys said... Think of, people were asking me where I would put them on my tier list. Honestly, well, it's too difficult to really know for sure right now. But... if I had to make a guesstimate based off the preliminary data... I'd probably put both Swampert and Sceptile up in S tier. Blaziken in, like, B. Is probably what I'd say, based off of the preliminary data. Hello. That's what I would guess. What do you think?
Oh, tier lists.
Tier lists, I know.
Oh, tier lists.
You think no tier lists. That's what you think.
Well, I mean, for this scenario... You have to rank Swampert wherever you've ranked Weavile.
Yeah.
If you've ranked Weavile that high because of its main skill.
Yep. Which is what I did.
Which I think is rightly so. It's a very high tier. Sounds like Sceptile gets ranked above or at wherever the other Berry Burst Pokemon are. But
thing is,
I think the real question is how far does Blaziken fall?
Blaziken is rough. Ben, someone in chat just said Golduck F tier. I don't agree with that, but I know what you have thoughts.
I pulled it up so I can watch the chat. What's trippy is it looks like you're talking, but I'm like live with you. But when you stop talking, anyway. So, but yeah, that's just to it's actually. Golduck is the thing that overheats my phone from skill triggering too much. So it wasn't the stream, it was Golduck in the background.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you guys would be proud of me or not, but I actually haven't run Golduck for like a couple weeks.
So did you...
But mostly it's because I haven't had desserts for a couple weeks.
Did you watch the video yet where I talk about how I completely pivoted away from Golduck? I think that was today's video.
If it was, I haven't watched any of your videos yet today,
okay.
So oh jeez.
So
I'm a bad friend. I'm showing up on a live stream having not watched the content that you put out today from a daily Pokemon Sleep content provider.
You're all good, man. I'll be honest, I don't watch all the daily Pokemon Sleep content creators either. I try to, but life. Anyway,
totally.
No, so yesterday I was going through my teams, and I was intending to run Golduck next week because of the 1.5 times skill trigger rate. But after I actually ran it through the calculators, I realized that I needed more, and I was also stockpiling a boatload of apples because Golduck wasn't producing me quite enough apples, and I was like, oh, I need to make sure that I have more space in the bag. But then I realized, wait, my Raichu, which I don't currently have on the team, makes apples, more apples. And when I actually plugged it in, it had higher raw strength while also having while also having helping bonus, and I was like, it's just more reliable for me. It doesn't have the problems of not being able to check it enough. Like, I was like, for me, because and it's not a problem with Golduck as a species. It's a problem with my Golduck. My Golduck is not great. Yeah, but after actually running through the calculations, I'm like, there is no reason I should be running Golduck, even for this skill boosted event. So I ended up dropping it from my radar off of all the teams that I had prepped, because then I don't have to backstock as many apples. That's the bigger nice thing about it.
Right. Well, and so that's the interesting thing with my Golduck specifically. So it has, I mean, Cacao's the A slot, or the first slot. Mine has Cacao in the second slot, so it's always been like that supplementer that really helps out on dessert weeks, especially because if anyone's been following my channel, I haven't had a reliable cacao farmer, and I will sometime in the next couple weeks probably. But my Golduck works really well specifically because it has helping bonus, and so it is buffing the rest of my team as well. Oh, look at that. I still need eggs to make my dinner. Yep. I'm behind you, obviously.
I got an extra tasty.
That's the lag that I'm watching, just so everyone's aware. That's my lag on the video. But but yeah, my Golduck, it's got the main skill chance up, it's got skill trigger M, and it also has ingredient finder M, which also helps with that cacao. And Golduck's ingredients have been buffed in the history of the game.
Yep.
Its ingredient rate was buffed, so it's been my in weeks of desserts, it's helping me get that cacao. In weeks when I need desserts, it's helping me get cacao. So it's my Golduck is beyond just the it's here for the skill triggers. It's pulling its weight. Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy, we have some people in chat asking questions about the verdict on the starters. So, do we want to go over this again?
Well, we're gonna have to if. I mean, there's probably people here who weren't here when we talked about it before, and it's a different stream, you know.
Fair enough. And I can also actually pull up the Rain on X comparisons to show what I'm talking about now.
Yeah. Hey, what's it like to actually have a computer?
Well, my computer, it's not amazing. I mean, it kind of died for a while there. But it's
better than mine.
It's better than, yeah, not having anything great, but, okay.
I have two laptops, and they're both laptops that at work, when they upgraded me, they were like, "Hey, you know this laptop you've been using? It's old enough that we don't even want it anymore. You can just have it." So it's not like I have a real setup for doing any of the stuff I do on YouTube. I'm just winging it. I was very clear in my early day videos, like, "Hey guys, this is low budget content," and now I have a lot more subscribers. It's still very low budget, so.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, though. Okay, so there's a question about, like, why... Okay, so first, I'll talk through Blaziken, which I think is the most mid of them. I don't think it's terrible. It's just... It's got nothing great going for it. I think that's the problem with Blaziken. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. If you compare it, I mean, it's a berry specialist. It's fighting type, which is competing with Primeape. And we make the comparison, it's only, like, slightly better than Primeape. Well, I guess it's decently better than Primeape. But it doesn't really offer anything unique in its main skill, I think is the biggest thing. It's got one of the worst main skills for a berry specialist, so I just think it's kind of mid. Anything to add there, Ben?
Well, I mean, to compare, does it scale too, or if you do the additive helping speeds? I mean, ultimately when it comes to any berry specialist, right, and we said this back when Muna came out, hey, if you catch a great Muna and you don't have a great Meganium, you're going to use Muna. That's your best option.
Yeah.
And so, in theory, any berry specialist should be thought of as, here's another option for where you're going, or for the area that you're going to be using it in. It's probably still too early to speculate too much on how disruptive this, or how important it will or won't be in expert mode. It really depends on how severe the penalties are. But part of me thinks that they're just gonna say, like, if you don't have favorite berry, it's half berry strength, and it will just not even really hurt your ingredient mons or your skill mons.
I don't think they're just going to make it half berry strength, because that wouldn't hurt ingredient or skills specialists at all. Which, they said they want to encourage creative team building in that one announcement where they talked about it, and that really wouldn't change anything. It would just make you not want to use off-type berry specialists. But I think... I don't know what it could... But anyway, expert mode speculation aside, that's a whole different thing. Oh...
I just wonder if there's enough variety in the game otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the point, is to really limit the variety so that you really have to try and make usage of what you got. It might limit you from making the strongest meals. People might have to actually give up making the strongest meals, which a lot of people are super committed to right now, which they might not like. But anyway. Yeah, Blaziken, overall, just kind of mid. Ingredient list, I mean... Oh, it actually they settled its rates. It's 4.9% skill trigger rate and 15.3% ingredient rate, in case you were interested in that. That's a really low ingredient rate for a berry specialist, I'm realizing. I was just talking about this the other day. I think that's the lowest of any fully evolved berry specialist. If I'm right, for ingredient rate, but that really doesn't matter all that much.
I have a place where I could actually check that relatively quickly.
I mean, I can check it relatively quickly, too.
I have a spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah. This is a race. Spreadsheet versus Rain on X.
Yeah, you're gonna win. Apparently, I don't remember what the spreadsheet's called.
Oof. Okay, it's... Oh, man. It is the third lowest ingredient rate of any berry specialist. That's all berry specialists. The only ones lower than it are Swampert and Onyx. So, they're really... Wow, Swampert having a really low ingredient rate is interesting to me. Because it's a berry specialist, you really don't want a sneaky snack then, because lower ingredient rate means that it's not going to be harmed as much by ingredient finding. Because it's not as harmed as much by ingredient finding, because it's not finding them that often anyway. And then also with tasty chances as main skill, you don't want to be missing out on that. So, honestly, don't sneaky snack your Swampert. Ever. I guess that's the conclusion there.
Yeah, sneaky snack your Blaziken if you're running your E for E healer, which you probably are.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting thing that's been happening to me this week. And kind of related on this topic. So I've been actually getting really fortunate on my healing, probably because I keep switching in Pokemon that have helping bonus, and so I just am doing really well that way with extra speed. And so I have a bunch of overhealed Pokemon, and because I'm rotating out ingredient specialists and stuff too, I've gotten into these situations where I'm like, well, I don't want to run my healer right now, but I also don't want to run something that's going to get so low on energy that if I need to call on it, I need it. So I'm like looking at my berry specialists, even when they don't have favorite berry, to just be like, is this a good time, like, to run just a different berry specialist with BFS as like an extra generalist, but running it only down to like, in theory, like if you only run it down to 95% and then it heals all the way in your box, and then you just keep switching that one out so that you're not gonna actually like tank something's healing because it's not running with a healer. Anyway, Blaziken might be able to periodically solve its own problem that way, to just say, jump in on the team, and if you happen to heal yourself, great, then I can run you even longer. But I keep running this strategy where, and I'll run them down to like 90%, especially towards the end of the week if I'm like, you're probably not going to get back on the team, so you're going to be fully healed by next week when I'd want to use you anyway. But and I know you're like less about team rotation and stuff, but I'm finding that this week I was just doing a lot of like team rotation stuff around having extra energy that I don't typically do.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And there can be some extra value in it. I'm not saying that like, I jokingly said that the main skill is completely worthless. It's not completely worthless. It's just definitely, in my opinion, the weakest main skill for a berry specialist. Out of all the options that are out there, I think I'd honestly rather have Metronome, just because Metronome's fun. Like, but yeah, I'm just seeing here real quick. When we compare for total strength, I'm interested to see how things pop up. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. When we compare for total strength with Berry Finding S, Sceptile actually somewhat outperforms Darkrai. If favored berry. That compared to Darkrai.
Plusle and Minun are just dominating infinite strength.
I know, infinite. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow.
Man. Okay, but what about if... Oh, let's filter by final evolution just to save some time. What if we max out the main skill level? Okay, Cresselia. Okay, Cresselia is unfavorable. As much as I'm a huge favor... As much as I love Cresselia, and I use Cresselia myself, it's not as good as Raynon shows it in this screen, because this screen assumes you have a full team of 5 different Psychic Berries... or Psychic Pokemon. That's most of the time not the case, so... This is unfair. I like Cresselia, but it's not as good as it shows here. Darkrai, it makes sense why it's so high. But then, yeah, Sceptile, the next highest one. I think it's genuinely the new best berry specialist in the game. And I'm going to definitely be making a video talking about that. Now, what if we get rid of Favored Berry for everything? Still the best Generalist in the game. Oh, if you have maxed out main skill level with just Berry Finding S. That gets a little different, though, if you give them some skill triggers. Probably. Yeah, then Golduck...
You mean just because other stuff's going to jump over...
Well, yeah,
sorry,
because...
I guess I'm watching on a delay, sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I'll let you do this part.
So, yeah, if I give some skill triggers in there... Normally what you can do is you can actually do by specialty mode. I don't know if this is premium or normal, but you can do it by specialty mode, where you can say, this specialist, I want these sub-skills, and then compares with these specialists, this sub-skills. But that's not great in this circumstance, because I'm trying to evaluate Sceptile as a berry special. Like, you give it berry specialist sub-skills. And it's coming in pretty much the same as other generalist options, despite being a berry burst Pokemon. But once again, it's assuming...
so weird to see Golduck above it, though.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
This is without
because
Favored Berry.
Sceptile just be the best, and Golduck should be at least, like, down below Golem or something, right? That's what
I mean,
thinks.
I could kill it if I did this. Wait, you'll see what I'm doing soon. Oh, it actually didn't kill it as much as I thought it would.
You can just drag and drop stuff? Just kidding.
Actually, wow, that actually didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. Oh, wait, nope, it did. It's just updating. It's just taking a long time to update. Oh, man, what did I do to my computer? My hands are... Okay, it didn't kill it completely, but...
This is what my... Wow, this would be a fascinating... You should turn this into a GIF or something. Like,
just the Rayon X number is going all over the place. Oh, that was funny.
So, what did you set the free collection amount to?
It eventually got up to 4 hours and 40 minutes. Their stats have been released.
Well.
All of them are confirmed on Blaziken and Swampert. We're still... Sceptile is still unsettled, but there's estimates. Golduck kills another piece of tech. Yep, that's exactly what just happened there. But anyway, yeah, as far as a Generalist goes, it's about the same as Espeon. And that's before it has any opportunity for Favored Berry. And realistically, okay, Sceptile as a Generalist is going to be better, in theory, because hopefully you have at least one Pokemon on the team that has Favored Berry that would... It would get some of the Favored Berry from that Pokemon. You know what I'm saying there? Like, it should be better.
I got distracted. Oh, darn it. You're talking to me. I thought you were...
No.
Of course you're talking to me. I'm the only one here. I got distracted because I got my eggs to make my apple acid yogurt dress.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, no, I'm saying, like, it theoretically... Like, this is assuming that it just has all grass berries. But in practice, you're probably going to have at least one Pokemon on the team that has favored berry. Which is probably going to be... Like, realistically, if you get a Sceptile with Berry Finding S, it's theoretically the best Generalist in the game, I think. Now. So
you're not running any favorite berry right now, so what you're saying is...
Yeah.
It's not accounting for Sceptile's berries being favorited, and so you probably will be running something else that has favorite berries, and so Sceptile's numbers are even stronger
because it should,
than Golduck.
Yeah, it should have at least one berry specialist on the team that has favorite berry, and that should boost it even further than what it shows here. So Sceptile, I think it's arguably the... I think Sceptile is... I mean, only time will tell, but I think it's going to be one of the best Pokemon in the game, interestingly enough. This is probably the only game where Sceptile is the best option of the HOENN starters. Well, I don't know. Swampert's got potential, too. Swampert's got potential with Tasty Chance. But Blaziken is hands down the worst of the three. I don't think there's any arguing there. Sceptile reminds me of Darkrai, but without minus energy and minus wallet. I mean, it is showing up a little bit better between Darkrai than Sceptile, but yes, it's... Use my Sceptile a lot in Pokemon Shuffle. I mean, it makes sense
What's hard about this... Well, so the Kanto starters and the Johto starters, they made pretty even keeled. But with the Paldeans, they showed some differences. That's a real word, differences. And also here, clearly, Devin is like, well, Blaziken, you're way too overhyped. We're gonna make you stink in this game.
In the base, I don't know how... I follow VGC a little bit, and of the three of them, Sceptile pretty much has 0 usage. Swampert only really has much usage when it has its Mega Evolution, because Mega Swampert's got some usage. But Sceptile, like, no one ever uses it. It's like the worst of the three by a long shot, at least in competitive Pokemon. And from what I've heard, it's also the worst option in the base game, like, in a regular playthrough as well. As the grass starter tends to, unfortunately, be in a lot of the games. But yeah.
So you'll need to do an analysis of VGC versus Pokemon Sleep to see if they're trying to create like an actual like meta this way to be like, oh, everything's inversed in sleep. You thought it was a useless Pokemon. It's actually because it excelled at sleeping, and that's why it's bad at battling.
Potentially. I mean, if we're going by VGC standards, that wouldn't carry over for Ninetales, but... Oh yeah, Sceptile's niche is being a real fast substitute Leech Seeder, nothing crazy but fun. Yeah, also, I know in Gen 9 it has the niche of having, it has the niche of, it's got a move that only 3 Pokemon in the entire game have. Shed-Tail. It's seen... But it's the worst of the 3 Shed-Tail options. Like, there are only 3 Pokemon in the game that get access to it. And I believe it's, like, Sceptile, Orthworm, and Cyclizar. And of the 3, if you want a Shed-Tail Pokemon, you're probably using Cyclizar or Orthworm. From what I understand. I don't play VGC. This is just from what I've heard. Yeah, okay, someone just said yee, so I must have gotten it right. I must have been right in saying that. Also, yeah, Chris...
I'll confirm that you're right. as somebody who doesn't know anything about VGC. Is it VGC or VCG? I don't even know that. VGC.
VGC, Video Game Championship. That's what it stands for.
I feel like between you and I, we're like the first people to be Pokemon sleep, like, if you want to call us influencers or creators or whatever, because like you haven't played a bunch of the base games, and I have, but then you also, I mean, all the newer games, you know names of Pokemon that I just have like never even heard of, and so we're like this weird combination of Pokemon knowledge together, but people could call us on not knowing anything about Pokemon left and right, and we just have to be like, yeah, you're right, but we know about Pokemon Sleep, so...
Yep, pretty much. We know about Pokemon Sleep, and not much more. But yeah, Sceptile, definitely... I think if any of them are going to be meta... Like, if anything's going to shift a meta at all, it's Sceptile. Swampert probably can do something, just because it has Tasty Chance. But... I see it more as, like some other people have said, of more budget option for Weavile, where Weavile was, like, inaccessible before. It's now just taking the game-breaking capability of Weavile and making it accessible to everybody. That's really what Swampert's doing, which is awesome. That's amazing. But realistically, for actually game-changing Pokemon, Sceptile's, I think, the only one here that's going to be potentially game-changing. But, you know what? We don't know Plusle and Minun yet. Oh. Do you have it? Nope, still no info on Minun. I just checked it. Wait, my music died. Oh.
I wouldn't have known.
It died because I forgot to set it to
hear the
loop.
music, but I can't hear it.
Well, it'll die on the stream for you. Oh, wait, no, you don't have that stream active.
Which song was it? Which song were you doing?
Greengrass Isle, 1 hour's loop.
Did you already put it back on?
Yeah, I just looped it again.
Okay, I was gonna say I can just do the background music while you go on about cool stuff. I can just sit back here and I have to remember how the Greengrass song goes now, but
yeah, I think Cyan is probably one of the... I feel like the best targets to go for in here is probably either go to Cyan Beach, Greengrass Isle, or if Plusle and Minun have any potential, that Old Gold, I guess, could be an option as well.
Here's the question. If Sceptile is released and is as game-breaking as we so far believe it is, do you think that they're really releasing Pokemon that are harder to catch that are not also at that tier?
Well, what's interesting is Sceptile, it's going to be available from the start of the game. Like, that's one very interesting thing about it. It's going to be available right away.
Do we have its DPR?
DPR. It is available. Let me check it. I know it's just a little bit higher than... I compared this in an earlier one. It's a little bit higher than the Paldean starters, so I'd say comparable to Paldean starters.
I get where you're saying it's available from earlier in the game, but yeah. It's kind of, to me, it comes back to that same thing of like, hunt for Wigglytuff, because
shows up easier.
You're never gonna see Palmy, even though it does show up at Greengrass Isle. I feel like I hear people complaining about not being able to find Fuecoco left and right.
Yes.
That people have been really struggling to hunt the Paldeans, and so I would think it's kind of reminds me back when Lapis Lakes came out, or Old Gold Power Plant, where they're like, if you're really interested in hunting these, you should go to the area and not stay on Greengrass for this event.
Yes.
Like, you're going to be better off hunting... You're probably going to be best off hunting Trico at Old Gold Power Plant, if that's the one you want. And honestly, when they put it at Old Gold Power Plant and the other one's not, it made me think, oh, so Trico's going to be the best. Like, that was my gut take when I saw that. Which also makes me think Plusle and Minun also could be the best. We'll see. What I don't love about Plusle and Minun is the idea that I, in theory, need to use 2 team slots.
I know, right?
For what feels like... for whatever reason, it feels like it's 1 Pokemon. Like, I get that it's 2, but like...
Yeah,
It's not
no,
how
I
it
get
feels.
that. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick. This might take a moment, but I'm gonna do a quick actual Pokemon Sniper comparison in Rain on X, just to see,
Ooh.
because it'll be interesting to know if it because with Plusle and Minun also spawning there, watering down the pool potentially of the boosted spawns. I don't know if it'd be better to go to Cyan or go to Old Gold for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, also I need to make sure that the Plusle starters aren't enabled and boosted. Okay. I have the right boosting set. Let's do, I guess, sure, 50 different Snorlaxes. Let's do a range of 500,000 to 6 million. Why not? It might take a while for this this simulation to load, everybody. Well, I'll do Monte Carlo just to speed it up a little bit. And it is pseudo balanced. Okay. Now I need to plug all those same settings into this one. You get to see a lot of my behind the scenes life right now. When I'm making videos that talk about this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a
The
minute.
behind the scenes is him just knowing that he could easily get 6 million strength on any area.
Well,
like,
I can't.
no
I just plug it in as an extreme upper bound.
I know.
So actually I can't figure that out yet because they don't have them worked into the spawn calculations at the islands yet. So they just show up as 0% chance.
But okay, but if their DPR is like the Paldeans, we could run the I guess, but they're not at the right areas.
Yeah, and really what I'm trying to see here is it's better to go to Old Gold or go to Cyan. Well, we can't see that because it just shows up as 0. So we can't see.
Well, does Cyan just have a larger spawn pool generally than Old Gold? Wait,
well,
I guess for that.
Wait. We could figure this out by doing. If we do the we can do a custom boosted rate. Let's do a custom boost of greater appearance rate. We'll add. Oh, what are 2 things that are Mimikyu is kind of comparable in DPR to Plusle and Minun from what I've seen in the past. And so is Mawile, kind of. They're a little bit rarer than those 2, but it's similar. And now let's add, since the Paldean starters are similar, we'll add Sprigatito. Wait, does Sprigatito spawn at Cyan? I genuinely do not know that.
I made my distribution charts. No, Sprigatito does not at Cyan.
Okay. Then we'll also. Oh, that wouldn't be perfect either.
I made these charts and I haven't updated it since Murkrow, so it shows you how committed I really was. I was like answering a couple of questions and then made some graphs and then just left it to die.
Also, someone asked about DPR on Plusle and Minun. It's weird. They have a higher. Their 1-star styles are rarer than Mimikyu and Mawile, but their 3-star styles are less rare than that of the more rare. So they're in the range of the 16-pip Pokemon rarity. It seems like they made them 16-pip Pokemon, but just gave them a 10-pip expense. It's really what it is. Okay. Well, Quaxley spawns at both, so we'll do Quaxley. Although that's still not perfect, but we're not going to get perfect with this. Okay, so those are the only ones boosted, but then there's got to be another spawn at Cyan that'd be watering down the pool. A boosted spawn. I guess we'll do Squirtle. Sure.
Just as a matter of interest, if anybody is interested, I guess I have to update these charts, but they keep all the islands except for Greengrass about the same in terms of number of spawns, number of unique species. So
neat.
They were all, at least at the time that Murkrow was added, they were all between 60 and 64. So I'll have to go update the numbers to see, but
yeah.
Technically, we can say that during week 2 of the event, you'd be better off hunting Trico at Old Gold, assuming you can do well at any of the islands.
Yes.
Just because the evolutionary lines are boosted and there's one less Pokemon at Old Gold. Because Plusle and Minun don't evolve.
Yeah, that's true. But if you're wanting candies, well, yeah, that still would definitely have a... Oh, man. So I'm now just checking it with Quaxley. Just as a rough approximation of what it might look like if I did this fake simulation. Because this might give... Oh, whoops, I actually did for all islands. Oh, no. That's going to take a while to calculate. I guess I only need to do one, then. It looks...
if I was doing it, it would take 12 times as long, so don't worry.
That's true. So from what I'm seeing here... Oh, man. It's still processing. Okay. Which line is Old Gold? I think yellow is Old Gold, and green grass is the... Yeah, so green grass is obviously the worst. It looks like... Old Gold would be the best place to hunt them. Followed by Cyan. Well, I guess we don't know about Lapis because it doesn't really make for this good comparison. But Old Gold looks like a better place to hunt them. The Trico. If you really want to target Trico. I'm not going to go deep into the numbers because they're probably not accurate since I used a Quaxley instead. But can anyone catch me up? What's the specialty? How good are they? Which one should I hunt? So, Sceptile is technically a skill specialist. The other two are berry specialists. But Sceptile may as well be a berry specialist.
Technically because... Yeah, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you can go into it. No, you go into it, man.
Well,
I've said it enough.
Be a berry specialist. Hey guys, welcome back to the rate the reviewers Mons. Today we're looking at Item Brown's Sceptile. It's got helping speed and berry finding S, which actually makes it incredible, even though it's a skill specialist, and it's just blowing my mind. Anyway, I'm losing my train of thought. That was it though.
Yeah, so I mean, if we make a comparison of them at level 60 with berry finding S, I mean, even if you don't give it, yes, it's a skill specialist, but it can be good with berry finding S without the skill levels. And it's coming in comparable to the others. If I make the comparison here, you can see that it's actually the best with berry finding S compared to the others by quite a bit, actually. Interestingly, Swampert's technically the worst of the three. Well, yeah, even with always max energy, but it's got a much better main skill. Like, I would take Swampert over Blaziken any day with the current setup. Something that I'm interested to see with, well, I'm interested to see how expert mode changes everything. I'm interested to see what they do for expert mode. Something that I thought, now, okay, this is just something that I want to get your opinion on. I don't think this would be the punishment, because I think this would be very, very harsh. But what if they ripped away a Pokemon that's off type's specialty?
They ripped away its specialty, so like if you're a berry specialist and you don't have favorite berry, then you get one berry instead of two.
Yeah, you get one instead of two, or if you have berry fantasy,
ingredient Pokemon, you cut all your ingredient production in half.
Yeah, it would follow 1, 2, 4 instead of 2, 5, 7. And for skill specialists, they would lose the ability to double bank skills, probably go down in trigger rate a little bit, and also have the pity proc help count be set to 72 instead of whatever it is.
So here's what I want to throw back your way, right? So keeping in mind, first of all, that the only requirement for expert mode is Master 18 on green grass, right? So
yeah, I know.
Forget Cyan Beach, forget Old Gold Power Plant, forget all those guys. I think that there are players. Well, okay, I know that there are players because my neighbor is one of these players, which I had to let him go from my friends list because he just played too inconsistently, and I was like, sorry, dude, I've got people who will send me candy. But like, he just got a team of 5 Pokemon and just ran them to the max level, and then just never really used anything else. and there are people who play the game that way. And shout out to anybody in the chat who plays the game that way, I guess. Which is fine, you know, like, follow your heart, do what you want. But I think that when it says raise Pokemon of different types, I don't think they're saying that to players like you and I who have a box full of varying invested Pokemon. I think that they're saying that to people, like, I think we are already experts is my point. Like, I think players like you and I and a lot of the chat, because they engage with us on these topics, like, I think we're going to be fine for expert mode. Now, you may not go in and master 20 expert mode right away. There might be some strategy that we have to go figure out and some new ways to play the game. Hopefully there are. That's what'll make it fun and exciting for us. But I just, when I see that, I don't feel too threatened. Anyway, that's my take.
Yeah, I know. I've heard you talk about that before. I don't think it's going to be too insane either, because Master 18, I mean, if you look at the ranking, that's almost 2.2 million strength. I will say this, the Sleepers has never gotten that far on any of the islands. But that's part of, I'm doing the Sleepers challenge. If I wasn't doing Sleepers, then it might be there already. I don't know. But, I mean, only time will tell what expert mode is. I could see the grounds for, like, something actually really, really difficult. Of, like, with the idea of maybe not necessarily bouncing back until, like, you've figured out things more. But I can see where it is a game made for the casual player. So, that's where it's like, it's not really made for the people that take it to the extreme. So...
And yeah, and ultimately it's going to come down to what are the penalties and what are the rewards. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you know, Pokemon Sleep, it's going to just be an opportunity cost thing. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought? Also, Aloha Forever, thank you for sending candies. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're sending good ones. I don't actually check who's sending what candies every day. Just so you know. But all candies are welcome on my account because I'm trying to make use of everything eventually. So
you get Wobbuffet candies.
But if I get it on, even if you're my neighbor and you haven't played for 5 days, I'm like, okay, well, you're not playing, so you're done.
Right. Also, yes, I will say this: go UWL and go Screaming Eagles to the Big Mac and Aloha Forever in there. I'll say that. I'll make that comment. All right.
Oh, are we allowed to do shoutouts? Anybody want to shout out? Let's just get...
Alrighty. But yeah, this is an interesting update. I'm interested to see where a lot of this goes, and I can't wait to make the actual video about these Pokemon. I'll have a lot. I have a feeling the video is gonna be like Blaziken's gonna be like a minute. And then Swampert's going to be like maybe 3 minutes, and then like 90% of the video is going to be talking about Sceptile, making comparisons about it. Because it's probably the first example of a... Well, I guess it's not, because we wanted Slacking, right? Slacking was a berry specialist that really you wanted skill specialist stats. Well, Sceptile's the inverse.
You compared it to Gengar and Dragonite before. Like, it's not like we haven't seen that there's going to be these off ones, but
yeah, but those two are still like, they're still ingredient finders at heart, and I still think their best place is like get berry finding, but like use them as oh, someone just said, whoa, Sceptile beats Meganium. You want to know what's even more insane? If you look at its stats here, I didn't even give it a maxed out main skill level. If I max out the main skill level, it's even crazier. But anyway, yeah, it's where this is a bit different than those other examples. Those other ones, they still want to be ingredient finders first and foremost, and like berry finding was a secondary. This is just completely different because realistically, I've made the comparisons at least quickly here and seen that it actually does better with speed than more triggers. You really just want berry finding stats on it, as if it was a berry specialist and not a skill specialist. skill triggers are obviously really nice, and it's going to benefit more from that than other berry specialists. But it really just wants the berry stats first and foremost. Unfortunately, though, because it is a skill specialist, that means it's a berry specialist that doesn't want speed of help down or skill chance down, because it is depending upon skill triggers for its productivity. So that's kind of weird and might make it a little bit harder of a hunt. And also, like I said, it really needs, it is a berry finding S or bust Pokemon, truly.
So if it doesn't have berry finding S, even if it has
all
the other speed, you're saying it's a no-go.
Well, and the reasoning why is because a skill specialist... The reason why a skill specialist can be compared, or why the pseudo-berry phenomena can exist, is because a non-berry specialist base finds 1 berry. A berry specialist base finds 2 berries. Adding 1 to the berry increases the berry productivity on a non-berry specialist by 100%, because you're going from 1 to 2 versus 2 to 3 is a 50% boost. So, if you then have a Pokemon that wants to be a berry finder that's not a berry specialist, if it doesn't have that berry finding S, you're not looking at a 66% productivity of max capacity, you're looking at 50%. So it's a lot. It hurts a lot more if it doesn't have that berry finding S, and really can't compete in the same way. And I can throw that comparison here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, oh wow, it even still comes up the same. They come up the same as without berry. Wow, that's interesting. I thought that would actually be a lot worse. Huh.
Now, okay, wait.
It just makes them comparable.
This may or may not be affecting things. You might want to clear your cache on your Rainanex, actually. So earlier, Trico and Sceptile were set as skill specialists, Trico and Gravel, how do I say it, were set as skill specialists, but Sceptile was marked as a berry specialist.
Yeah, no, I've updated
and so people... Okay.
Is it just crazy
and so
fast?
I was just thinking...
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's crazy fast. That's really it.
Alright. I mean, to be fair, it did show the purple line when it was showing the strength earlier.
Yeah.
That it was getting a bunch of the strength from purple, not from green.
Yeah, and that's what it's showing here. And realistically, if you look at the berries, it is producing a lot less berries off the... It is producing way less berries off the berry productivity itself. It's just that extra boost from the main skill is so significant. Yeah, it's berry burst. That's what it is. Berry stats like BFS is big for Braviary. Not really. It's not that big for Braviary. Braviary depends more on its skill triggers, because it's quite a bit slower. What about at only main skill level 3? Yes, that's also something else to consider here. I've been making these comparisons as if you treat it like a berry specialist and don't main skill seed it. But obviously, if you caught a great one, you would main skill seed it, and that makes it more insane. Is it the same for the other two? It's not berry burst for the other two. The other two are actually berry specialists. And notably, so here, I'll just show. Swampert is... Oh, darn it, that's my box, not the... Swampert is a ground berry specialist. This comparison was without max skill. Yeah, people weren't noticing that. That was without it having max skill level. This is why I'm like, Sceptile something insane. But I'm giving too much attention to Sceptile. I need to actually give some attention to the others.
I want to... I mean... you'll say, oh, I'll do this in a video later. I want to go run a scenario in team comparison or whatever it's called, team analysis, where we put in Sceptile and you simulate future Dragon Island where Dragon Berry is going to be favorite and it can just pull in Dragon Berries from the team. I mean, that's the power of Berry Burst, right?
Yeah.
Hey, your Dragonite is even more powerful now because you're running Berry Burst, and if you're running an Altaria, it's even more powerful. Now, it's not going to do so much for the Butterfree and the Arbok of the world. But with those Dragon Pokemon, and in theory, I mean, I like to think if we're going to add a new island with Dragonberry that we're going to get another Dragon Pokemon in the game. So, I mean, that or like, could you run it out Snowdrop with the Ice Berry, or I forget what all the strongest berries are, but like, in theory, it's like, hey, put Sceptile on your team when you're running those other Mons. Anyway,
yeah. No, I can make a quick comparison. Powerful. And interestingly, you said the Arbok wouldn't gain that much from it, but Poison Berry is actually a higher strength berry. It's not as much as Dragon, but I believe it's in the 31 range, if I'm right, which is the same as Ice Berry, which is higher than Grass. So,
should we think of Berry Burst as something that enables you to run a berry specialist that doesn't have Berry Finding S? I know that I guess there's been some controversy lately of, can you run a berry specialist without Berry Finding S? Is Berry Burst enough to make up for that, to say, hey, get your high level berry Pokemon there because Berry Burst will carry even when you don't have Berry Finding S?
Thank you, Jazz.
I'm throwing too many scenarios and questions at you. I'll take that answer off the air. You can do that video in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm just seeing just a quick comparison, how it looks, and for theoretical wetlands, as a friend of the channel has called it.
Yeah, that's me. Also, Jazz That Shiny, thank you so much for supporting Velocity Raptor.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And have a good 2nd year anniversary event to you too.
Have a great, yes, agreed. Okay, so Sceptile, if I just give it like this, and if we were to max out the main skill level, actually, and this is like a decent one, not even looking for triggers, because like we said, we probably want to be targeting berry sub-skills. If we got this Altaria to a reasonable level, which I don't have it in my main account, what would be another...
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm not going to worry about meal for this one. I'm just going to make a comparison. If we have a Butterfree, then. Actually, yeah, let's just throw a Butterfree on. One of each berry specialist.
And see, I guess I'm thinking more of like, what you should compare here is like, I mean, compare the berry specialist, but then if we switched it to be like, well, replace Butterfree with Dragonite, even if it doesn't have a favorite berry, sorry, of course it's going to have favorite berry, but even if it doesn't have Berry Finding S, it seems like it just, Sceptile boosts that so much.
Yeah, I mean, if we make the comparison here, and like, so neither of these guys have helping bonus, so the only way they're boosting the Sceptile is if it's through the berry, like the berry type being picked up by Sceptile. If I drop this Butterfree, it was at like 99k before, it goes to 101k, so that's probably about a 2% increase going from Butterfree to Altaria there. That's not terrible, but it's not really great difference. Realistically, I think the biggest thing is just having favored berry. Because let's say this went down to, say, a Steel Berry. Let's just change Altaria to a Steelix, which is a better Pokemon overall, but it drops it significantly down. And granted, Steel Berry is a little bit weaker than Dragon Berry, but not by so much that would be the bigger difference. It's more just the fact that it's got favored berry versus not. But if this was the Butterfree, which is, we're going from the 2nd strongest berry to the game to the weakest berry in the game, it boosts it. So, yeah, something interesting there. I'll talk about it more in depth in that future video, like you were saying. But yeah, hello, what specialty are the HOENN starters and are they good? I'd say, okay, Sceptile's a skill specialist with Berry Burst. The other two are berry specialists. Swampert's solid. Sceptile potentially meta-defining, potentially. I'm not going to say the jury's out yet because we're still waiting on some numbers. And realistically, it's hard to know until we see it in practice. Oh, wait! Oh my gosh! It finally settled, actually, as I was talking about it. And, okay, it's better than we thought. We're making all these comparisons with a 2.8% skill trigger rate, but it's actually at 3%. Okay. Well, now we actually can say this is the strength that it will for sure output, now that it's been updated.
Wait, but the simulations that you were doing...
I don't know when I was doing them. I might have been doing them earlier.
Oh.
I don't know if I saw it settled. Anyway, Sceptile is really good. We've been brought a lizardy doom is the comment that was just put in chat. Something else we haven't... We haven't... Oh, yeah, good night. We haven't made a discussion yet about
I'm just doing the extra commentary. You keep doing the real talking.
Oh, wait, yeah. Also, oh my goodness, Sceptile's ingredient rate is ridiculously low. Is that 10.7%? That's gotta be one of the lowest in the game. These guys are defined by not making very many ingredients at all.
Let's see, the lowest ingredient rate in the game. Palmy and Pomo, 10.9, so it's the same.
No, it's lower, it's 10.7.
Those guys?
It's...
Oh, okay. Then it's lower.
The lowest ingredient rate in the game is on Sceptile. Find Berry Burst to be more circumstantial. Depends what other supplemental Pokemon you're running on your team alongside it. You'd think that, but this one's a special case. It's
interesting that Braviary and Rufflet are also down there.
Yeah, they gave a lot of... Yeah, they gave the Berry Burst Pokemon. Now, where's Mimikyu? Mimikyu's... It's a little bit... It's still pretty low, though. That's right next to Blaziken, which we saw was a low ingredient rate. They gave all the Berry Burst Pokemon really low ingredient rates, apparently.
And Palmy.
Yeah. Also, thank you to Jazz That Shiny again. Always great to see the support. I never know how to respond to supers, but I do thank you. It means a lot. But yeah, no, my thing about Sceptile is not that it's a skill specialist and a niche skill. This one, they gave it a high skill trigger rate. They gave it a real... Well, not a high skill trigger rate. Okay, now that it's been settled, how does it actually compare for procs of the skill per day? Because, like, Braviary's weird. It has Flying Berry, which is it's the weakest berry in the game, so it doesn't really produce that much of its own... Yeah, okay, Sceptile actually procs more than Braviary, despite having a 25% stronger berry. So that's just like, even if they proc the same amount, you can see Sceptile as producing 25% more strength than Braviary as a base. So unless Braviary's at Cyan, Sceptile is just strictly better. Like, in every way, shape, and form. Bring back crits on Berry... I mean, there are still crits. Also, thanks again for the super, Jazz. Oh.
And enjoy the crown.
Enjoy the crown. Yeah, yeah.
It says the leaderboard feature now on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So he's banned from Sleepers. Yeah, Sceptile's definitely not going to be allowed on Sleepers.
What? Really?
Yeah, none of them are allowed on Sleepers. I was showing this off earlier. I can do a quick comparison of how I do the Sleepers. Oh, whoops. I didn't want production comparison. I wanted...
The announcement for Sleepers is that Banette is now Sleepers legal.
Yeah, Banette is now Sleepers legal. That's the shift that this led to. Because there's 2 new berry specialists that... The way that I define what's legal is there's a 50%, like, top or bottom 50 percentile. And now Banette has actually been bumped out by Swampert and Blaziken. So, as far as berries go, that's the one real change that occurred.
Hey, Rainonex, if you're watching this, we need to select all as favorite berries. We know that it's theoretical, but I end up doing that clicking a lot of times, too.
And I always forget that... Okay, when you change the inventory settings up here, it doesn't update in Pokedex until after you refresh the page. So that's why I had to do it twice there.
Oh, man.
So, okay. And then it loses all the save stuff. Anyway, here's the comparison. Oh, wait. Actually, wait. I need to set it to... Wait, I did set it to berries. I think it's still updating. Okay, yep. There we go. So, yeah. After making that changement, now Blaziken is, like, here. And Swampert's here. Wait, is this sort of... Oh, yeah, it is by total strength. Okay. So, yeah, Banette has now been nudged out of being in the top 50%, and now it's legal. When it wasn't before. I probably won't use Banette. I'm not going to be hunting it, that's for sure. Especially since I don't like using things that are on the borderline, because if they ever add bad berry specialists and then nudge them the other way, that just seems too risky for me. So I just, even though there are like things on the borderline, I try to avoid whatever's like top 1 or 2 of what's legal. Whoever wins the Trico Crestminster gains infinite power. Get yourself
got a chuckle from me if you heard it a minute ago.
Yeah, get yourself... I'm definitely going to be on a Trico hunt. I think it's a decent Pokemon. Very good Pokemon. It's not even a berry specialist, but it's the best berry specialist in the game. Ain't that Plusle and Minun basically with their infinity power? Okay, I guess they still show infinity power. Has there been any... Banette's zipper goes zip. Also, hey, guess what? No Minun stats yet. Thank you again. I really don't know what to... thanks again. It's putting a smile on my face.
Hey, thank you's a great thing to say.
Yeah.
Jazz Shiny, we really hope that you get a shiny HOENN starter this week. If we had any control over that, we'd make it happen.
A shiny HOENN starter to get the, well, not Blaziken. You don't need a shiny Blaziken. Well, I'm sure you'd still appreciate it, but if you're going to get a shiny HOENN starter, I hope it's one of the other 2. Have you seen shiny Blaziken? There's already been some people commenting about how bad the shiny is.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I know that I'm remembering back from Pokemon Go, that shiny Torchic, like I could barely even tell that it was shiny.
Yeah, this is so. Here, I've got it on screen.
I'm almost caught up to you. Yeah.
It's like it just loses some saturation.
What?
There's the shiny.
It's like filter, no filter.
I know. Although, okay, you want to see something cursed that I discovered in Rain on X the other day? If you go into the animation section and, like, have it set... Oh, wait, I just did it. So you can see the gender differences in, like, the animations. But you can click default, which removes all the components that are modified by the gender differences. And it looks so messed up, usually speaking. Like, standing. Blaziken is especially cursed when you do that. Because it loses its hair.
This is what we're here for. Moments like this.
They must have data mined assets, and that's how it like it must be in the game. So I wonder if the game actually loads it as 2 bits, just like the base, and then they add like the separate bit of the female or the male modifier. I don't know. But
so Blaziken is cancer.
Oh gosh, what a comment! Plucked chicken. Someone just said. Yep. Rip. Wait, I can pluck the shiny one. The 3-star. Oh, this one's... Okay, the 3-star is definitely the worst one to do that too.
So behind.
Whenever the 3-star loads for you, it's creepy.
Oh my gosh, its eyes. It looks like it's from some other cartoon.
So yeah, you don't want to see Blaziken without its hair, or without its... Are they feathers? What are they?
See, I thought this about the Paldean Whooper, that it's shiny just looks like it's like dried out and dying, and that's what's happening there too. Like Blaziken looks like it's like rest in peace. With the shiny, it looks like it just
raising
into nothing.
Oh my gosh, $49.99. Oh my goodness, Jazz, thank you so much. That's crazy, man. Raising Cane's more like Blazing Kents. That's also a great pun to match with that.
Shout out to Raising Cane's. I've never been there.
I've been there a couple times. It's pretty good. They
built one next to my old house before I moved. They like opened the week after I moved, and so I never went.
I spent a couple months in Alaska, as a lot of people have probably been able to tell by my shirts. I don't actually live in Alaska. I live in Wisconsin, but I have a lot of shirts from Alaska because I've gone there on a couple trips. But while I was there, one of the areas that I was staying at was really close to Raising Cane's, and I went there a couple times. So I've been there a few times. It's pretty solid. And you wouldn't expect it to be in Alaska, of all places. How is Ribbon Torchic for a berry finder for an Entei team? Oh gosh, these are the real questions. I'm assuming not that great, but I'll make a comparison.
Torchic.
If we get Torchic to level 65 and a maxed out Ribbon. Oh, well, it's about 2/3 the productivity of Blaziken, so... Wisconsin mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I live in Wisconsin. It's on the map,
Wisconsin.
People. We got cheese. We got cheese in the Packers.
Hey, here's a question. Are you gonna run good camp ticket?
Oh my goodness, Jazz, $100? Dude, are you gonna have enough money for your railing? I know you buy a lot of whistles. I've seen it in the past. Am I gonna run good? I'm gonna run good camp ticket both weeks. Especially now since I'm getting more financial support. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to put... Wait a minute. I forgot to put very finding S on
on the good camp ticket.
Okay. Don't forget Wisconsin has UW lacrosse. Yes, that is also true. Go Screaming Eagles. Okay, so berry finding is Torchic? Okay, wait. Is this something to actually consider?
It's the same as Blaziken, basically.
Well, I also had it level
just
65.
Has a different berry application.
Well, but I had it 5 levels higher. So that's 7,000 more strength. That's pretty significant.
I'm behind. Okay.
You're all good. Yeah, this is a pretty significant difference. I mean, you're losing... Blaziken's about 24% better. So... Yeah. You probably...
But Mudkip can run with your Suicune and run with your Entei.
That's true. Well, that's why it was mentioned. Because that's like the one niche it might have. You're probably better off running Quilava.
Oh, yes. Flex Muscle ASMR. I'm caught up to you now. So thank you. It 24%? No, it's way cuter. Have you seen Combuskin? It's like the ugliest thing. It just, if you guys didn't know, Combuskin also just got added to the game.
Yeah.
It's like one of the ugliest Pokemon. Torchic is way cute.
I actually like Combuskin a little bit as a middle evolution, but I just don't like Blaziken. Torchic is the best of the three for sure. Like, it definitely digresses as it evolves, in my opinion.
Honestly, all of these do. I mean, that's true of a lot of starters, but I feel like I would keep these three forever in their first forms if I didn't have a little bit of min-max in my heart.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Trico's design. Just Trico. That's like... In fact, I actually like the way Sceptile evolves. Like... I think that Grovyle is better than Trico, and Sceptile is better than Grovyle. But maybe I'm in the minority. I've heard you hate the pants. Yeah, I do hate the pants on Blaziken. It's probably the one thing that keeps me from liking it. I don't know. I just... Oh. But, yeah, I like Sceptile. Not a huge fan of Trico itself. Like, my least favorite of the three starters is my favorite of the three final evolutions. And not just because of its stats in Pokemon Sleep. I was saying that before we knew the stats.
I'm gonna drop 2. I'm gonna commit now 2 good camp tickets. Gotta start it because I gotta go start my sleep tracker. And I still need to go do my chores. So I'm gonna have to get going. Thank you everyone for having me, especially Velociraptor, since you're the one who actually has me here. And if you're still going, I'll tune in to keep watching. But I'll just be doing dishes, and I will catch up on your other videos tomorrow because that's what I normally be doing when I do the dishes.
Take care, man.
But
thanks for tuning in, and thanks for
everybody who turned it to my stream as well. Sorry for the, low budget lag. I can't even afford the lag, so appreciate you guys though. Yep. And
we appreciate you.
Keep up the good work, VR. Appreciate you.
I'll keep doing my best. I'll probably keep the stream up for some more time. I do need to get to bed myself, though. Jazz was right in telling me to sleep.
All right, man. Take care.
Have a good night. Bye. Well, that's that gone. We've lost our guest. Alrighty. So yeah. I guess I can make some of the... I don't want to give too much attention to Sceptile, but there's... Okay. How about Swampert always on the team versus hot swapping Dedenne? How does one even compare that? Not very easily. You could... I'll probably save that for a different video. I don't know how to compare that on stream. That's going to take some more complex things to set up. How's Trico then? Trico itself is... I mean, it's a starter. It's not an evolution, but Dedenne is always best in my opinion. Dedenne gets like double the triggers Swampert. Well, but the idea is that if you're swapping Dedenne off, like, then you're not really getting that many extra. Like, you're just spending half the amount of time to get half the amount of time with it. There's a complex comparison there. There's a very complex comparison there. It on a berry specialist is arguably more valuable. Tasty Chance is arguably more valuable on a berry specialist than on a skill specialist, just because a skill specialist is going to proc it too much, almost. I mean, the whole evolution line. Okay. Yeah. Though we've talked about it quite a bit already on stream, because I think Sceptile is potentially one of the best new Pokemon in the game. I just hopped on. Are the HOENN Starters good? Huh. Are they, Ivan Brown? Someone else inquired about Sceptile? Cramorant versus Swampert. Okay, Cramorant Proxmore. I've made that... I've checked a look at that before. If you look at the way the main skill is distributed, Cramorant's weird because it's kind of like a dual specialist. Like, actually a dual specialist. Like, it actually is what I would consider a dual specialist in that it procs it a significant amount. I think... Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. I guess the stats settled and I didn't notice something while... I made this comparison earlier and it was like the same as Weavile. Holy crap, this is actually very different. This just in. This is a bigger number than I thought it'd be. Hold up. That's crazy, actually. Wow. Well... That's almost the same as Cramorant for procs per day. That's honestly kind of nuts. So, Swampert's pretty big. 5-pip Pokemon, berry specialist. It's not amazing for berries. But it's got Tasty Chance S, which is really like the thing. Mudkip meta. I think there's a very clear one. I think my current take right now is Sceptile's the best of the three. Swampert is also really solid, and Blaziken is just kind of mid. Not really adding much to the game. I think Cyan Beach is a great place to go for most. If you really want to metagame this game and don't want to just kind of hunt them all. I'm intending to go to Cyan after seeing this especially. But knowing what I know about Sceptile and the comparisons that I've already made tonight, I'm going to be hunting it. I'm going to be hunting a Mudkip as well. This guy is showing Blaziken shiny sprite. Is it possible to get an overview of the starters? So, Sceptile is a skill specialist. It has... Well, here, let me just do the thing that I should have done a while ago. I'll do my my good old-fashioned... What I used to do on the Pokemon review series that I haven't gotten back to in a while. I need to finish that. I think I just kind of lost hope with that series just because it was like things were changing so fast that I was hating to see that some of my videos were already outdated faster than I was releasing them. But anyway, Sceptile and Swampert and Blaziken. Here we go. Okay, we'll go from bottom to top. Blaziken, Berry Specialist, Charge Energy, yes. Now, if you've followed the channel for a while, you'll know that I'm not a huge fan of this skill on Berry Specialists. There are 4 other Berry Specialists that have this main skill. They're Dodrio, Altaria, Marowak, and, I'm forgetting the last one. Raticate. How can I forget Raticate? I use it all the time on the sleepers. Anyway, 4 Pokemon that use that as Berry Specialists. All of them are not that great, and a big part of that is because this skill is wasted potential on Berry Specialists. Berry Specialists are the ones that struggle pretty much the least for energy. You're not really trying to rotate them that much, so they're... Oh yeah, Arbok. I forgot about Arbok. So there's actually 5 others? Okay. Anyway. Either way, they're all not the best, and a part of that is because they basically don't have a main skill. Because you're not really looking to rotate them anyway, like you would with a Charge Energy as Ingredient Specialist. The skill is very valuable on Ingredient Specialists, but not great on Berry Specialists. So having this on a Berry Specialist is kind of like just not giving it a main skill. Its speed is a little bit above average, but Fighting-type Berry isn't one of the stronger berries, so having slightly above average speed isn't great. It's better than average, I'd say. As far as its rankings compared to other Berry Specialists, it does produce a decent amount of the berries. But it's just really not interesting. It's like the most vanilla thing they could have given us. How does it compare to Primeape? It does outperform Primeape. If we look at the comparison for berries, if you guys could see my tabs right now, you'd probably be having a migraine. Okay. If we compare for berries, you can see that it is a decent amount better than Primeape, which does give interesting grounds for... Annihilate potentially being a possibility, and then they could take it either Ghost or Fighting, whichever they want to go, but that's a whole different discussion. As far as Berry Strength, it is significantly better than Primeape, but it's not really better for Strength than Meganium, or we'll get into Sceptile later. But as of right now, it's just kind of, I'd say, like the definition of mid. If you catch a good one early game, use it. If you catch one with Berry Fighting as helping bonus, it's going to be good. But it's nothing astounding that everyone should be hunting for. I'm more excited about after hearing you talk about these than I was when the details came out earlier. Oh gosh. Okay, so that's really what I'd say about Blaziken. Nothing special. It's just it produces the fighting type berries. Swampert, a bit more interesting. It's another berry specialist. It's got Tasty Chance S. Now, a lot of people went hype for this. Plusle and Minun. We'll get to those when the world gets to those, because the world hasn't really gotten to them yet. But anyway, Swampert, Tasty Chance S. Really powerful main skill for a berry specialist to have, because this is one that has diminishing returns on more procs per day. So having it on a berry specialist, if that berry specialist can provide good strength on its own, which Swampert's alright, it's decent, then getting even just a few procs per day is a tremendous amount of strength. A tremendous amount of strength that can be added to the team if you are running a more cooking-focused strategy, especially since you're getting a berry specialist while also getting Tasty Chance. Like, this is huge, potentially. I'll get around to that. I just saw someone put in chat something interesting. Speed, about mid. Actually, like, this is the definition of mid. 4640 is the most common frequency in the game for fully evolved Pokemon, which leads to it being an alright berry specialist, but what really makes it great is Tasty Chance S. This was something that a lot of people looked forward to on Weavile, and it's also the first Pokemon, the first 3-stage Tasty Chance Pokemon, and first 5-pip Tasty Chance Pokemon. This is huge for new players. I genuinely think I would say hunt for a skills-focused Swampert before you would hunt for a Dedenne, because 16 pips is no easy hunt. And this guy is honestly pretty pretty decent. Although I'm noticing it says that his skill trigger rate is unsettled. It's not. It's 3.4%. I don't know why it was showing 2.8 there, unsettled. Which is actually, I was just looking earlier, is actually pretty significant. It makes it about the same amount of procs per day as Cramorant, which is not that bad, honestly. Then finally, Sceptile, the man of the hour, or the lizard of the hour, Berry Burst with a 3% skill trigger rate. That is honestly insane because Sceptile has Grass Berry, which is a higher base strength than the previously existing Berry Burst options. And basically it leads to... And he's fast. My goodness, 2300 base frequency seconds is the third fastest bracket in the game of speed. We have Raikou on its own at 2100. 2200 is Raichu, Gengar, and Jolteon. 2300 is the third fastest category. So one of the fastest Pokemon in the game. Additionally, has grass typing. There's nothing even near that has a 30 base strength value berry, which is what Grass Berry is. And it has a skill that makes even more berries. It's almost a berry specialist more so than a skill specialist, based off the comparisons that I've been running tonight. But it doesn't even matter what their ingredients are. Anyway, I'm seeing some new data, which I will double check this real quick. I've been told that they found they've finally gotten some information for Plusle and Minun. Which, if they did, then we finally actually have something to talk about for those two. Okay, Plusle. Okay, they're right. Coffee and leeks. Interesting. So a lot of people were interested in Plusle because of the A ingredient potentially being coffee. Okay, this is... Well, because of what would the A ingredient be? It's now apparently confirmed that it's skill specialist. I'm live reacting to this, by the way. 40-minute frequency that's 2400 seconds. That's pretty fast, if I'm... Well, 2300 is what we were just talking about. And that's pretty fast. So it's like the fourth fastest speed bracket. That's pretty solid. Now, it just kind of depends on the skill trigger rate, because if this doesn't proc that often, then it doesn't matter that its procs can produce, like, 12 coffee. Because, yeah, it can produce 12 coffee at max main skill level per proc. Honestly, if they make it comparable to Vaporeon, because a decent Vaporeon can proc about 6 times a day. 6 times 12 is 72. That's not really amazing if you really think about it. Nah, bro. People were making fun of Plusle. People were saying stuff like, who cares in the Discord? I feel so happy to show them up one. Early access to coffee. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. That does unlock coffee early game. But then I guess that does give early game players access to... But it requires that you have a Plusle and another Plusle, or a Plusle and a Minun. That's something that people don't think about. You could have a Plusle and another Plusle, and they would do the same thing, because you need to either have plus or minus, and then an instance of plus or minus. So, I'm just not sure it really gives... Like, it's definitely more coffee. Yeah. Because of the way the skill works. I do like that it has leaks in there. This is honestly very big for a Raikou team. If, like, this is where my thought process goes. If Plusle supplements leeks and coffee, and then Raichu makes apples and ginger, and that's Zing Zap right there on a Raikou mono team. I mean, you're not going to be getting a lot of ingredients from the... You're not going to be getting a lot of leaks. But something very interesting. My goodness, I just realized 2 and 3. This isn't that far off from Quaquaval's leak proc size. I mean, I guess having one less in the 72 coffee isn't great, says the guy who was prepping coffee. That's true, and I guess my Vikavolt is 87 coffee a day, was the numbers that I was running with there. But it also requires 6 main skill seeds. And I guess it is getting a little bit of random ingredients as well. So, I guess that's worth consideration. It probably actually pulls in more than 72 coffee a day. So, and it has it in the... It produces it at level 1 as well. So, I mean, there's something interesting here. Something that I find very bizarre, though, 2-3. A Quaquaval with a spread of that is going to have 6 leaks throughout its 3. So it'll get 2 on average per ingredient help with the ABB list. This with the ABB list is going to be getting 5 by 3. That's, well, it's 1.6 repeating. But 6 over 5. A Quaquaval will produce 20% more leaks than this. Okay, that's pretty significant. But that's interesting. That you just don't want milk. That's my thought. I'll take any leak coverage, to be honest. It's gonna be because the fact that it's level 30 proc is 2 leaks. That is significant. They haven't. There's an ingredient specialist with 2 leaks at the level 30 proc. So having it be there on a non-ingredient specialist, 2 leaks at level 30, that is honestly pretty insane. Now, is there any more information about Minun yet? Because, you know, there's the less interesting side of things in the Minun. It's the one that people were less interested in because... Okay, there's no... Oh, wait! We have its ingredient list. Honey, egg, milk. So ideally, you'd run this alongside of your Plusle. So I guess the idea is maybe get, like, a Plusle with A... Probably AAB or AAA. And then, Minun, you probably would want just, like, any of the lists. And then probably to target down Clodsire Eclairs. Maybe you get your Palmot on a Mono Electric team. Get some eggs. Get some honey. Wait, no, not honey. Eggs, milk, and cacao, I think is what... no, what does Palmot have? It's got milk and cacao, I know that. Oh, it's coffee. Raikou, Plusle, Minun, Palmot, Raichu. Game over. Yeah. Like, there's some interesting synergy with desserts here. Like, you can make the most hyper-specific, I want to go to Old Gold Power Plant and I want to get desserts. And have something insane out of this team. Now that we know their ingredients lists. And they're going to expand their own pots. Like, they're going to expand the pot. They're going to get filler ingredients in the Plusle. If you have the main skill seeds, it's got potential. But we're not going to really know. Oh, also, is Minun the same frequency? Yes, it's also 40 minutes. Okay. They made that consistent. They didn't make them different in speed. Those 2 on curries. AAC, coffee, milk, and honey is great for Eclair. Just missing cacao, which Palmot does. Yeah. That's really what I'm kind of thinking. So, a lot of dessert... They really want electric types to just be the dessert Pokemon. Who would have known electric Pokemon are good at making your desserts? Not great for curries, but... So if I get a decent ABB Plusle, my crappy duck could actually keep up with some leak dishes. I mean, it would provide supplementary leaks for sure. I wouldn't focus on it for the leaks. If the level 60 proc was 4, then... If it was level 64 proc, then that would be funny, because that would make it have the same leak size procs as Quaquaval. But they didn't give it that, because it's a skills mon. So, balance. Oh well. There's not really too much to say about these until we get more information about their skill rates. And ingredient rates might be interesting as well, especially on Plusle, who has a shocking amount of leaks. Just missing a Alolan Raichu and a pancake dessert recipe. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, these mons are interesting. Except for Blaziken. They kind of did him dirty. They made him boring. They made him the personality of his shiny. Boring and dull. But yeah, as time goes on, actually I think this is the first non-ingredient specialist to have leaks available pre-level 60, I believe. Because I think everything else that has leaks available doesn't have them until level 60, or they're an ingredient specialist. Because I think right now it's just Dugtrio, Ditto, and Quaquaval are the only things that have them at level 30. And Farfetch'd, obviously. But I think this is the first non-ingredient specialist to have it at level 30. It'll be interesting to see what its ingredient rate settles out to be, and its, well, we already know its frequency is 40 minutes. Its ingredient rate will be interesting to see. Given the trend right now, it looks like they're just tanking the ingredient rates on all the new Pokemon. They're like, no, you're not finding ingredients with these Pokemon. They gave them stupidly low ingredient rates on the other three, at least. But yes, I'm definitely most excited about Sceptile, I think. And oh yeah, Hacked Meganium. I forgot about that. I knew that was a thing. I talked about that in one of my videos. Damage you tackling Sceptile versus Mimikyu or Braviary. I mean, I can make a comparison here. Something that I find very interesting, and I guess I need to actually make the comparison for other ones, but it's... Mimikyu's a harder comparison to make, because Mimikyu doesn't... Mimikyu has the whole crit thing going for it, so, like, you could wait until it crits, take it off the team, and then it has higher average productivity for the time put on. As far as compared to Braviary, though, Braviary... I hate to say it, but Braviary's dead. Like, there's really no reason to... Unless... Well, okay, unless you catch a good one. That's always the thing with this game. Use what you get sub-skills in nature for. There's a difference between... There's a sub-skill nature difference. But... Braviary, there's... If you have equal sub-skills Sceptile and Braviary, or Trico and Rufflet, there's basically no reason to invest the Rufflet over the Trico. At all. Other than maybe you want it to be extra good at Cyan, but if that's the case, get yourself a Totodile. That's going to do a lot better. Or a Dodrio. There are better options. Expert mode, though, that's true, but we don't know what expert mode looks like yet. It's difficult to say make an investment, especially a skill seed investment, when it comes to this sort of thing. And here's the thing. Something that you don't see here in this comparison. Yes, Sceptile shows up as basically the same amount of procs. This is such a small amount of difference that may as well be negligible. Sceptile and Braviary are basically the same for the number of procs per day. But Sceptile has a berry that is 25% stronger than Braviary. So the same number of procs per day is significantly more strength. Like, and there is the argument that, oh, but only like half of it, like, only about half of its berries come from the Pokemon itself. Yes, that's true, but at the same time, if it's proccing the same time or more, then Braviary is still going to be ultimately worse, because it's getting the same or more of the other berries. So the fact that its base berries are also stronger makes it that Sceptile is just better. Additionally, Sceptile is faster, so it produces more berries with its base rate, not even taking into account the skill. And on top of that, it's got the higher base strength berry, so all those extra like berries are higher strength. There's really no comparison. Braviary is just, like I said, obviously account to account things will be different because you will catch different stats, and sub-skills in nature make the bigger difference. But Sceptile, if you have equal stats, Braviary is dead to you if given equal stats. Now, compared to Cresselia at full energy, well, that's another difficult comparison to make. Because Cresselia also depends upon having, like, shared... It also depends upon having a lot of other Pokemon on the team that share its typing. Of different, like... type, like, species. That's what I was thinking of saying. Cresselia does come in better if it has 4 matching Pokemon on the team. What if we compare to... What if we add a, like... Let's add Doduos. I always like to add Doduos for this to give them the minimum possible from their main skill. Then Sceptile comes in better. What if we add a Psychic type? Let's add Espeon. So it looks like you need to have 2 Psychic types for Cresselia to be a better Berry Burst, probably, so... it's about the same, then. Oh, I guess you need 3. Yeah, 3, and then it comes in better. I mean, hey, if you got the... Like I said, sub-skills in nature make the difference. That's the bigger deal. But something that I was liking to compare earlier... Ugh, gosh. So, here, I'll talk... Oh, whoops. Wrong thing. Okay. Something that I really wanted to talk about. So, Sceptile, it's got an insane frequency for a Grass-type Pokemon, which means it is the Pokemon that gains the single most amount of daily strength from Berry Finding S. Where I think you're going... I'm going to Cyan Beach. I don't want to, but the hunts there are just the best by a long shot. I wanted to go to Lapis because it's where I got the best team set up for, but it just doesn't make sense for me to not go to Cyan Beach. Much better options for hunting. I don't care about Blaziken. But anyway, if we compare level 60, Berry Fighting S really means a lot for Sceptile. Because it's doubling this, which even if we compare to a Meganium, and here's the comparison we could make. If we compare it to... Oh, whoops. Meganium, level 65. If we look at the strength here, it's comparing 194 to 173. This is a skill specialist compared to a berry specialist. That's absurd. That's 20... Now I'm second-guessing my Crespant. No, that's still worth the investment. Because remember, Cresselia is also providing healing, so that's another thing you can't really add value to. And also, Espeon is a good Pokemon on its own. And that works everywhere, not just one place. But aside from that, Meganium. If you make this comparison to Sceptile, like that's about a 10%-ish difference. I said earlier it was 19% roughly, but that's just on the berry alone. That's crazy, because this is a berry specialist, this is a skill specialist. For them to only be about like 10% different, that's insane. Because there should be a 50% difference here if you think about just the theory of this gets 2 berries, this gets 3. But the speed difference is really the difference there. Now, does Sceptile prefer berry finding or skills focus? Well, a berry finder would want this sort of thing. This is kind of what you'd be looking for in a theoretical berry specialist. Now, if we wanted the skills focus... Now, this is, let's assume, maxed out main skill level, because this is also important. Where does it land with a skills focus? Well, we know you want Berry Finding S, most likely, but let's really just hone in on skills. And then you can see it's significantly better, even with this. Now, and this is assuming that it's all grass-type berries. Even if we make it grass-type favored, berry favored, then that, yeah. But this should be the theoretical best circumstance for this one. Because this one's getting more from the procs, which is going to have more off-type berries when actually taking the full team context. So then, what if we do this, but with Berry Finding S instead of the Skill Trigger S? Because Skill Trigger S is the weaker skill. Then, we still get weaker than all the speed. The speed just is the best thing. Even with the extra... Oh, wait, I forgot to give it a skill proc. Wait a minute, this could change things. I forgot to give it a nature. Whoops. Let me double check. Okay, this one still comes in weaker. What about with this one? Can we really maximize the triggers? So yeah, the one with all the speed still comes in better. Speed is just better. That's what I'm seeing here. This thing just is a berry specialist in disguise. Hands down. Sceptile is a berry specialist. It's not a skill specialist. It's a very specialist disguised as a skill specialist. And I will have a full-length video on this, deep diving it, for people that don't watch the VOD. But it's insane. Okay, now... So yeah, we've proven that like it obviously just prefers berry finding. What if we change out Help Speed S to Skill Trigger M? This should at least do more strength. Right? If it doesn't, I'll be shocked. When an appraising Sceptile regarded as a berry specialist, that greatly appreciates skills. Okay, in this Skill Trigger M rates in better than Help Speed S. That's the one... Yeah, basically I'm just going to say it. Regarded as a berry specialist. It's not a skill specialist. The comparison's just... It comes out better with berry specialist sub-skills. Hands down. Like, it's not even close. Now, I will say... And here's a good question. How does it... Because then the question comes out, what does the naughty nature look like for it? Because it still does appreciate its main skill. Versus a neutral nature. Is naughty nature good or bad? Okay, naughty nature is still good. It's a skill specialist that can be viable with the naughty nature. Now what about just a not naughty nature? What if it's like ingredient finding up skill down? That does hurt it quite a bit. Okay, so if it's not naughty, but I'd say naughty is viable on it just because it's getting that little bit of extra speed. Interestingly enough. What I miss? Sceptile good. Yes, can't wait to hunt next week. Feels bad. Sceptile's very good. In my opinion, based off the preliminary information, Sceptile and Swampert, it's between those two, which one's the best. Sceptile is the one that's got the most to talk about, because Swampert's basically just a... I'm going to say it's a budget Weavile. What about skill up, speed down? Might have missed it if you checked it. Well, okay, I'll check it real quick. So, skill up, speed down. That brings it down to 51k, which is weaker than neutral. So, skill up, speed down is actually a negative nature for it. Not by much. It's practically neutral. It's a very weird Pokemon, but very, very solid. Okay. That's crazy. Oof. Yeah, just treat it like a berry specialist. That's my appraisal. Now, this makes... Somebody was asking earlier, mentioning that this applies to some people are gonna transfer some really good Trico. Yeah, that's really my thoughts with this. It's weird because it's deceptive. It looks like it should be a skill specialist, but because it is a skill specialist. But in practice, its sub-skills, it outputs better with berry specialist stats. Now, I'm really interested to see, because I've made this comparison before with Braviary, I swear. Somebody earlier was saying that Braviary is the same way. I'm looking in here and learning. It's an all specialist. Well, it's not really ingredients. Dear gosh, it does not find ingredients at all. We won't. Thank you, VR. Anytime doing the work here. Also, I just realized because Braviary's got one level main skill lower. Did you all claim your points for posting an X? Oh, I haven't yet. I will be. I don't even know what my Twitter sign-in is, so I might have to go through password recovery. I'm not gonna lie. Man, if they made a Berrymon there for no double skill stocking, it would be weaker. Yes. It probably would be stronger because it's making more berries then. With this kind of a speed, that thing would be insane. But anyway. Braviary. So reset in 2 hours? I don't know. Oh, got 300 points, it works. Okay, now what does it look like for Braviary? Because someone was saying that this comparison is actually better for Braviary to have Berry Finder stats. And see, that doesn't... Oh, wait, this is the main skill down one. with speed up. Wait, why do I have 2 braviary? I lost my train of thought. Okay. I want to see. How does braviary compare with a complete skill stat spread? Can't even access my Twitter account anymore. I had a 2FA enabled and 2FA seems to be broken. Woof. That's a rip. I think the problem here is that skill trigger S is just a weaker like modifier than berry finding S is to the berries, especially on skill specialists. So if I had to theorize, yeah, see, that does come out weaker. But what if we just swap out skill trigger S with berry finding S? I understood what does berry burst, neither Cresselia's ability. It's a weird skill. Yeah, it's a weird skill. So, okay. It looks like the skill focused... Wait, this is practically the same. Okay, I guess it is a little bit better with the brave nature. So that's interesting, but practically the same. Braviary can probably be semi-justifiable with it, but... with more of a berry focus. But I don't think that it's berry finding S or bust, necessarily. Because, like, if you catch this with berry finding S, that's good. But I think it can do very well without it still. Well, maybe not. Well, huh. Now it's got me questioning my thoughts on Braviary. That's just kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Maybe I've been evaluating Braviary wrong this whole time. Because, yeah, how does it compare if you don't have all the skill triggers line up? Let's say it really just has a true berry focus. Now we're talking about the starters, but are Plusle and Minun any good at all? We really can't say yet. It's very... There's not enough info yet. Braviary is a hot topic back for me upon release. Since it was confusing, I don't blame ya. Okay. So yeah, I guess the berry finding one with all the speed does come in better. I guess maybe this has always been true for all the berry burst Pokemon, and I've just kind of been evaluating them wrong. Huh. It was more of a berry focus than... Well, but then it requires them to have berry finding S. That's the thing is, like... This is pretty comparable, but... Also, like, how often are you going to get S as well as that? Like, I don't know. This is a very weird comparison. I think I need to just do a rework. I think I need to do a berry... I think I need to do a berry burst breakdown. Because honestly, this is kind of breaking my brain. At this point. Yeah, that still comes in better. Interesting. I would have not suspected that to be the case for Braviary, because it doesn't have as fast of a base rate, as well as a much weaker berry. But I guess that also nerfs... The weaker berry also nerfs the skill, so... I guess it procs about the same amount of times. It's just Braviary is a strict downgrade. Berry burst breakdown videos so we don't burst our brains. That is a lot to say. It's one of the more eluding skills. Yeah. I like how this is the HOENN starter release night, and I've gone on a tangent about Braviary. But it's all because of this thing. Okay. But something more interesting. So yeah, I've already said evaluate as a berry specialist, not as a skill specialist. But then the question comes to rise. Which is the better berry specialist for grass berries? Meganium or Sceptile? Well, and Meganium is a really good berry specialist. Like, wait a minute, I just realized I may have to... Let me make sure that inventory settings are set right. That shouldn't really do anything to Meganium, if we're honest, but... I want to make sure I'm giving it a fair comparison. Given Sceptile wants to be Berrymon, what is a catch good enough to settle on? Seems like it might be tough to chase. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult it's gonna be difficult to chase because you want, like, you need berry finding S, I think. Running them together makes Sceptile's skill better, yes? Yes, but the same is true for any berry finders running alongside Sceptile that has favored berry. Yeah. What happens if we compare full skill-focused Sceptile versus full berry-focused Sceptile? So that's gonna be okay. We'll make the comparison here. This is the current best full skill focus Sceptile we can get for maximum skill triggers per day. We'll even give it maximum amount of sleep hours because that helps with procs per day. Versus health speed. I'm not going to give helping bonus because the math behind helping bonus is weird. Okay. Okay, full skill focus, I guess, does do better. With full main skill seed. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta be fair. Okay, full main skill seed investment does actually do better on non-berry finding S. Like, I guess the skill trigger one actually does do better than I thought it would. Unless I'm missing something here. But I think this is... Here's the problem, though. Levels are different. Wait, no, they're the same. Here's the problem, though. It's assuming that the rest of the team is all grass berries. Which, realistically, we'd let's see if we have grass berries enabled. Oh, wait, check the skill. There's the difference. The fact that I didn't notice the main skill level was different. Okay, yeah. Nope, that should be it. There's the difference there. The fact that they were comparable when one was only at level 3 main skill and the other was at level 6. Thanks for the comment on that. That scared me. Yeah, no, berry finding S is insane on this guy. Okay. Now, I will say, because Help Speed S is such a weak modifier, that one specifically is better to be Skill Trigger M, if you can nitpick and choose. Because here's what it is with Help Speed S versus Skill Trigger M. It's slightly better with the Skill Trigger M than the Help Speed S. And I actually would prefer this more, because this one can take advantage of Helping Bonus more, because if we start adding Help Bonus stacks, the second one doesn't really gain much at all. Because after just 2 Help Bonus stacks, yeah, I guess it takes advantage of it all the way up to 4. But it eventually gets speed capped. So I wouldn't want to necessarily go for this. I think this is the... Well, actually, no, this is not the ideal stat spread on the Sceptile. If you can get this would be the ideal. This would be, like, the perfect Sceptile right here. And what does that look like? That looks like a berry finder to me. It's a berry specialist that cares about its skill. Through and through. Yeah. Then... Okay, then the comparison is to Meganium. If we make the comparison to Meganium, we'll just use this same one. Always has been. Yep. Okay. Now, obviously, Meganium is going to do worse because we gave it a max main skill level. We can bring that down. It still does better. But then here's the thing. It's going to have other Pokemon on the team that aren't going to match the favored berry. So we do have to account for that. I'm just going to put in the weakest the weakest potential berry type. And even with the rest of the team being the weakest possible berry, now granted, that's assuming that they're all level 65 as well, which isn't necessarily going to be fair. So I guess it's not really a perfect comparison. But even with that, Sceptile is still a better berry specialist than Meganium, without even investing main skill seeds into it. So the perfect Sceptile wants berry finding us in full speed, skill trigger not being necessary. Yeah, pretty much. Now, it would really suck if it has skill chance down, because it is kind of hurt by that. So, but it's not as bad as other skill specialists. Like, if we really focus on the berries, let's just assume berry finding us help speed M, and then just, I don't know, an energy up, skill down nature. How much does this actually hurt its overall productivity? Because, like, you'd assume 20% down would be like... But look at this. Even this guy... Wait, I wonder. If we are to make it just, like... The most... I'm getting side tangent here. Skill trigger M, max out main skill. Speed up. Nope, not speed up. We want skill up. See, even... if you just have Berry Finding S... on the Sceptile, more than half of its strength comes from its berries than from its skill. I guess that does weigh out if it doesn't have favored berry, and you are accounting for the other types on the team, but it's about half. It's about half. Now, okay, so this is what it looks like with that. Now let's compare to neutral. Skill down... Wait a minute, what? Okay, yeah. Skill down does hurt it by about from 45,278 to 43,682. So the neutral nature is only about 4% better. That's a very minor impact. That is a very, very minor impact for skill trigger down because it's still gaining a large portion of its strength from the berries. In fact, how does that compare to Meganium with skill down if we look at overall? You guys get to see me just plug things into... I do this a lot of nights. I do this a lot. Okay. And that's if it... Oh, wait, no, that's a level 3 main skill. Okay, that does make a bigger difference. I will say that. Well, it's still only... Wait a minute. 53,798. 51,118. 5% difference. It's about 5 to 6% difference in productivity. Now for Meganium, energy up, skill down. Yeah, that's practically the same. So, it is hurt more by having a skill down. Rain on X is the real game here. We all know Poke Sleep is the side game. Yeah, I've spent way more hours futzing around in this calculator than I have actually playing. Or in-app time, I'm sure of it. So yeah, it's a berry specialist that doesn't want main skill down. But it's not really a killer for it. Like, let's see, what does it take to counteract this? Like, can a Help Speed S completely counteract the impact from a main skill down? Because if that's the case, then yeah, still invest with skill down. Like, yeah, it does. So, I mean, it's just a berry specialist, and we should just evaluate it completely as a berry specialist. Its skill is very strong, but it works best as just a berry specialist that also produces more berries through its skill. Something that I'm interested to see, if we come here and just do this whole shebang, and we look at berry strength, you know, where does it rank amongst all Pokemon for final evolutions? Amongst all Pokemon with Berry Finding S, and we sort by berry strength. Gonna sleep, fun. Yep, good night, everybody. Plusle has coffee on A, and that's what it pulls from its skill when part. Yeah, I know. We were talking about that a little bit ago. Okay, berry strength. Where does it rank? It ranks above Houndoom, above Musharna, above Raticate, above Arbok. It ranks above all these Pokemon for just the berry strength. Oh, they're finalized? Their details are finalized now? Okay. Been here and there for the stream. Okay, so 4.9% skill tree. I don't know how that compares to other things. I guess I'll have to actually run comparisons to figure out what I think about that. But yeah, Sceptile, it's better than a lot of berry specialists for berry strength. So, because yeah, Houndoom, Musharna, Raticate, Arbok, and Marowak are all berry specialists. And just for berry strength alone, it outproduces all of them. So, that's not even considering its main skill. That's crazy. Okay. Now let's see. We gotta do production comparisons for Plusle and Minun. Plusle. Okay, buddy, what you got for us? A decent one can proc about... I'll put it at 50 for now. We'll give it that many hours slept. It really doesn't matter that much. Minun. Let's see. So not making that much coffee. That's they continued the trend of giving them garbage ingredient finding rates. My goodness. 10.3% on Plusle. That's stupidly low. 17.4% on Minun is not a super low ingredient rate, but it's not really high either. So neither of them are going to be finding that many ingredients through their ingredient list. Even if we get this guy to level 60 and give it ingredient finding M, it's not going to be making anything comparable off of its ingredient finding. Its main skill is where it's going to get the coffee from. Yeah, 28. That's atrocious if you're trying to get that. So the idea of supplemental leaks, forget about that. We were talking about that earlier. That can be cast aside. My goodness, that's bad. I mean, 20 leaks. Yeah. Whew. Coffee leaks, bro, is weird. Yeah, he is a little bit weird. But anyway. So yeah, even if you get it to level 60, only 20 leaks, and that's with ingredient finding M. But we're all really here for the skill triggers, which about 5 per day. That's a little bit. Well, okay. What did my Vaporeon have? Because I was comparing to my Vaporeon when I said 6 per day is what I was thinking about. My Vaporeon procs about... Now I've got a pretty good one though. 6 times per day. That also has speed up, so I'll give it that same nature for a fair comparison. We'll give it Brave. 6.27, so it's a little bit more than Vaporeon, potentially. It's probably a better way to do this, and that's just looking through here. Okay, so Vaporeon ingredient magnet 3.9 is what it's showing here. But I like to say, oh, not ingredient finder, skill trigger. Yeah, like 5.6 versus now plus and minus. We have 5.5 and 5.42 for minus compared to 5.87 for... So it's about... Okay, Minun's about a Flareon, it looks like. Which Flareon's decent at the job. It's the worst of the 3 options here, but it's about the same. And Plusle is pretty much about on par with other ingredient magnet options. The only downside is Plus is a weaker main skill. It produces less ingredients per proc, but it produces more when it has the synergy with Minus or with another Plus Pokemon. So I guess it could be really good if you have 2 of them and you want to stockpile coffee. They would make quite a bit. But you're looking at a good one would proc about 6 times a day, probably. So it could maybe make you like 72 coffee a day if you have a decent one. That's... A Vikavolt can do better than that. I know that that's the case. A good Vikavolt can definitely make more coffee than that per day. But I guess it is also producing a few random ingredients, so it can pull in a little bit more. Rather hunt the lizard? Yeah, I'd agree with that. Sceptile meta. And Swampert. Swampert's also pretty good. We haven't talked about him a lot because it's nothing groundbreaking, but... Because everything there is to be said about Swampert was already said back when Weavile was introduced. Because it's, like I said, it's just kind of budget Weavile that has Favored Berry at top instead of at Snowdrop. I really didn't want to go to the beach, but alas, I kind of felt the same way. I didn't want to be going to the beach either. I'm running Metronome. Nice! Metronome, fairy Pokemon. But yeah, it looks like Trico's the best of the three, which I wasn't really expecting, because it's historically in a lot of Pokemon games not the best, but how is it budget when its expected skill count is so... Okay, it's budget because it's cheaper, not because it's actually better or worse. And it is worse because it's worse for berries, and it is a berry specialist to begin with. But it's proccing the skill a lot more. So, I guess that's something else to be considered, but with those Pokemon, you're not really looking for the main skill to proc a lot. You're just looking for it to proc, period. Because a few procs of the main skill does you plenty. And as you get more and more procs, the skill has exponentially less and less value. I've done the math on that before. Go check out my Dedenne video if you want to know more about how that specific interaction works with more procs per day. It's crazy how much the skill drops off in value the more procs per day you get. If I don't have a Weavile, should I hunt Swampert? I mean, I'd say probably hunt Swampert anyway. It doesn't hurt to have more type coverage. Especially since ground is now, like... It's our first real viable ground type. Dugtrio can maybe do something if you have good stats. But that's... Marowak is a no. Yes, but it also has a much lower ingredient rate than Weavile, and its total and berry strength is about the same. Is it? I mean, I guess I haven't actually made the comparison at total strength. Well, I guess I did earlier, but... Sort by total strength. When applying Favored Berry, I'm just going to only apply the ones that matter for this comparison. And then sort by them so that I don't have to filter through everything else. I guess it is about the same for berry strength. I mean, I guess it is just better in that sense. I just called it budget because it's cheaper, not because it's actually worse. The purpose was not to say that it's worse. The purpose was to say that it's cheaper, because it is cheaper by a long shot. Maybe I should have said accessible Weavile. Because that's what it is. It's an accessible Weavile. Although its ingredient list... Well, both of them have weird ingredient lists. But they're both good. Both good Pokemon. I'll definitely be making a video about them. I would have preferred Sceptile become the best Dream Shard producer, or maybe have a new skill. Poor Tasty Chance S, I think there were better options. I mean, I think... Here's what I think. I think they wanted to give us 3 berry specialists, but I think they didn't want to give us 3 berry specialists, because if they gave us 3 berry specialists, then people would say, Blaziken and Sceptile, they're just, like, they do the same thing. Or, Sceptile is just a new, or better Meganium, or worse Meganium, and then it would get ignored. So I think they wanted to do something unique with Sceptile, but in doing so, they just made something that genuinely makes it so that if you... Once again, if you set sub-skills aside, which is never something you can do because this game has so much RNG, but if you can theoretically pick and choose the perfect sub-skills on every Pokemon, I don't think there's really a purpose to ever use a Meganium anymore over a Sceptile. Other than maybe for an ingredient, like if you have the right ingredients list, I guess, and you're trying to make, say, the Clodsire Eclairs and you want the cacao and honey, then that's like the only thing you can maybe justify with it. But Blaziken and Swampert are more or less what I expected. A little boring, but very solid. I don't think Swampert's boring. It's just we've already seen it. If this were back... If Weavile didn't exist and we didn't already have these discussions, Swampert would be groundbreaking. I mean, you could use Meganium with Sceptile, true, but we're also talking about the theoretical where you have infinite resources and infinite catches. And then if that's the case, 2 Sceptiles does the same job, but better. They're not exclusive. There's 5 team slots, especially with Expert Mode. That's also true. once again, I'm talking about the theoretical here, which is not perfect. Because there is no theoretical in this game. You have to consider your account. How much better than Braviary is Sceptile? Okay. Not that much better for the skill proc, like the number of procs per day. If you look at it in this little comparison here, it's like basically the same. 2.93 versus 2.99 is practically the same. But Sceptile has berries that are 25% stronger than Braviary's. So that means it's just 25% stronger, basically. Which is a significant difference. A very significant difference. So I would say that Sceptile is... It's a power creep. It is a power creep for sure. On both Meganium and on Braviary. Both those Pokemon have been power crept by this. Mimikyu's weird. As I understand it, Sceptile is not the best berry buster, but in total strength it is the best berry burst Pokemon. It's the best berry burst Pokemon. Well, it might... It's hard to... Mimikyu's hard to classify. I guess I can try to actually make this comparison. So let's compare for just if we make it... If we just look at the skill. If we make them a skill focus, how does it compare? Let's ignore the whole Sceptile's good with berry finding S thing and focus on just the skill. If we go for like level 60, because realistically if you're investing a berry burst Pokemon, you want to get at that high level. If we make the comparison here, it procs more per day than Mimikyu, but Mimikyu's skill... It produces about the same exact amount of berries. After you account for the fact that this thing can only crit once. It's effectively the same as Mimikyu. Although if you're running it for less time, Mimikyu does better, because it's less likely that you'll not get the crit. Or that it's less likely that you'll get the crit than continue to run it when it no longer has the chance to get the crit. Mimikyu's just weird. The crit makes it complicated. It's not really a perfect way to evaluate it, but realistically, they're about the same for the skill itself. But also, Sceptile does so many more berries. Also, wait. The berries are... I forgot about this. The berry's base strength is higher on Sceptile. Not as significantly as compared to Braviary, but 30 base strength compared to 26 base strength. That's still a significant step up. Sceptile is just better than both of them. It's... it's just better. They really did something insane with this guy. And then they made him have speed. Main skill level is the same. Did I make sure to do that? Yes, it should have been. Because I copied the one, yeah. I'll redo it again just to make sure, but I'm 99% sure that I did have the main skill level 6. And yeah, the same. If we give them both berry finding S and set the map to OGPP, how do they compare? Okay, that's gonna make a big difference. That's gonna make Mimikyu do far better. There's no doubt about that, but I'll make the comparison since it's been requested. If this doesn't work out in Mimikyu's favor, then something crazy's happened. Yeah, no, that's just significantly better for Mimikyu. Not even close. Because you're doubling the berry value there. Noted, I'm sure favorite berries islands play a major role as well. I mean, kind of. To an extent. Well, yeah, if you have Ghost favored berry, then yeah, Mimikyu's gonna do better. If you have Flying favored berry, Braviary is gonna do better. Sceptile is just better as a generalist. It's better as a grass favorite. It's better than Meganium as a berry specialist. We discussed it quite extensively. How does perfect Sceptile do versus perfect Meganium and Lapis Lakeside? See, I think that's the most interesting comparison. Especially because I don't even have to give it a maxed out main skill level. It can just operate at skill level 3. And let's say we give them perfect stats, Berry Finding S, Helping Bonus, Help Speed M, and a Speed Up Nature. Not skill up, speed up. And make them level 65. And do the exact same thing for Meganium. Go to Lapis Lakeside. My computer's starting to slow down. I need to refresh Rain on X. The Sceptile does better. Now, you could make the case that this Sceptile is assuming that it's running all grass berry Pokemon. So, you know what? We'll give the Meganium every possible benefit of the doubt and run 4 flying Pokemon alongside it, since flying Pokemon have the weakest berry. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Actually, we won't even run 4. We'll just make the team empty aside from 1 flying berry. Because if I got rid of this, then it would just assume it has 4 flying berry or 4 grass berry Pokemon. If we just give it 1 partner that is a bear, so it's just running, and the only one that it's gaining bonuses from is a single Braviary, then it still produces more strength than the Meganium. In fact, if we look at the berry comparison alone, 289 versus 245. But the 245, you have to add 72, because 72 come from that thing. Which is 317 berries. It just makes more berries than Meganium, outright. Grass berries. Even with just a level 3 main skill. What if you catch it as a Grovyle? That's also a good question. Then it's weaker. I will say that. But yeah, this thing is insane. And it makes me think this is the new best berry specialist in the game. Because realistically, I can make the comparison. The other best berry specialist that we have currently in the game would be Alolan Ninetales. So why does Devon hate Blaziken, Meganium, and Marowak? I don't know, man. I don't know. They just really decided they loved Sceptile and thought he wasn't... They do like to give a lot of focus and attention to Pokemon that don't do well in the base games. I've noticed that, like, Dedenne, it sucks in the base games. It really has nothing going for it. But here, it's one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. Sceptile, one of the worst starters. If you watch, like, any VGC YouTuber, like, do a ranking of the worst starter Pokemon of all time, Sceptile's almost always on that list. Anyway. No, I was going to make a comparison to Alolan Ninetales, because Alolan Ninetales is the one that usually does the best in the calculator. Dedenne was rated the most popular Pokemon in Japan poll in 2024. Interesting. I mean, popularity doesn't mean good. Because it is not good in the base games. Is Sceptile be the best Generalist too? Potentially. I mean, if you get to high enough level. Okay, so I guess according to Raynon, Ninetales does better. But you also gotta assume that it's gonna split across other Pokemon, so I don't know. Ninetales still does slightly better, but this is such a small difference in terms of output. And this is assuming that the Alolan Ninetales is proccing its main skill on itself most of the time. Because that's how they handle that. So it's an unfair advantage in the terms of the Ninetales. And a severe hindrance to the Sceptile. Actually, if we want to make a more fair comparison, this is going to be a bit more fair. And then they're about the same. So, yeah, it's crazy. And this is actually a fair comparison, not like what it was for Ninetales, because this is like really the minimum possible value you could be getting from the others. So it's good. I wasn't expecting to say that about Sceptile. Future Mega Sceptile. If they ever had Megas to this game, then you're gonna see Christmas trees at every Lapis. They go to Lapis, it's Christmas Tree Tail Boy. Mega Sceptile. Oh yeah. Christmas forever. At the wetlands. Oh yeah, because it becomes a dragon type. Dude, hold up. If Mega Sceptile becomes dragon type, that takes everything we said about Grassberry being really strong on Berry Burst and just takes it a whole step further. There's potential. If Mega Evolution ever comes to Pokemon Sleep, Sceptile is just gonna be crazy. Whether they leave it I mean, it's already crazy. But, you know, even if they leave it Grassberry, I'm assuming Mega is just gonna be a straight up buff to it. But if they were to change its type to Dragonberry, that would be... that would just be... How much of a boost would that be? Because that would go from 30 base strength... No, they'll do what they did in the actual games, make it slower. That's also a possibility. But that wouldn't necessarily matter if they keep the skill at a rate that it procs the skill, because the skill just gives a flat amount of berries. I guess that would matter for having Berry Finding S on it, though. Dragon will future-proof it for the next island. Potentially. I mean, it doesn't even... It's a generalist, it's a berry spot, it's doing everything. It's power creeping everything, people. But no, I want to see berries. Why did I go to main skills? Yeah, we're looking from going from 30 base strength to going to 35. Okay. That doesn't seem like a lot until I tell you that that's a 16%, 16.7% increase to berry strength. That's a lot. That's like getting Help Speed M, basically. Help Speed M is a 16.2% increase to productivity. This is 16.7%. I honestly assume they chose HOENN Starters right now in anticipation for Mega Evolution. So Sceptile is about the best berry specialist in the game, potentially the best generalist in the game, Power Creep Meganium, and all Berry Burst Pokemon at the same time. That's effectively what I can say about it. And theoretically, if charge... Well, okay, this is always a big if. We don't know with charge strength Pokemon if they're ever going to add extra skill levels. I'd hope they do. Because if they don't, then that's like just asking for the skill to be tossed aside. Yeah, that's what I was just about to get to. Sceptile versus Ampharos. The thing is, Berry Burst versus... Berry Burst versus Charge Strength isn't really a good comparison. Because you're not really looking for... I guess we can compare it, but there's going to be a big difference here because this is going to gain a lot more from levels compared to what Ampharos would get. But the skill scales with level 2. Well, the skill slightly... Yeah, that's the bigger problem. Is that if I compare it to an Ampharos, the Ampharos isn't going to gain as much from being maxed out level. So while the Sceptile... Oh, wait, that's with Favorite Berry. The Sceptile does still come in better at levels... Or worse at level 60 compared to Ampharos. But that's also assuming 4 Braviaries. And that's also assuming you're not looking for Berry Finding S on it. And you're getting just pure skill focus. Which the Ampharos gains a lot more from the skill than what Sceptile does. Compared to if we put Berry Finding S on them, let's say instead of Skill Trigger S, like, then the Sceptile's gonna potentially do a lot better. I don't know. We'll see. The Ampharos still does better. So, I guess in a general use case, Compare Sceptile level 25. Yeah. Earlier levels, Sceptile's going to do weaker. I don't even need to make that comparison. I'll show it just for the argument's sake, but in case you're wondering, yeah, it's not even close. Because really, Berry Burst only works at later levels. Because 60 is very far away for it. Yeah, yeah. First Sceptile is level 3 main skill. Yeah, it is. Which means you do have to put in one less skill seed of investment into a Sceptile instead of an Ampharos. 2 less than a Golduck or an Espeon. But also, it takes a lot more levels. It does take a lot more levels. And even if you're looking for... Okay, so I guess Ampharos still better Generalist. In theory, when looking at it this way. But if you have any Pokemon on the team that have Favorite Berry, let's throw on like a Golduck. And say... Let's just say we have one. If we have one Pokemon on the team that has Favorite Berry, and the rest don't. How does that compare? It gets a little bit closer. So at level 60 Pokemon, when you have about level 60 Pokemon on the team, if you have 2 favored berry or not favorite berry if you have 2 favored berry Pokemon, doesn't matter their specialty, on the team of around the same level as your Sceptile, at level 60, it's better than an Ampharos as a Generalist. But and it's about the same, actually. The only down I see is the difficult to raise Sceptile fast to level 60 being a new Pokemon. Yeah, that's going to be difficult, but I think it's worth it for long-term investment if you can catch a good one. But that's always the question, is if you can catch a good one. Because I could talk about this in theory and talk about how I'm going to hunt a Sceptile, but realistically, if I don't ever catch one, I'm screwed. Like, I just can't ever operate with this. But anyway, I just looked at the time. It's 2 a.m. I think I need to sleep. So, as the game is called. So, I think I'm going to call the stream here, everybody. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Huge thank you to everyone who turned out. Thank you to anyone who's watching the VOD. Especially hear me rant about Sceptile like 5 times over. Thank you to Iben Brown for starting all this and getting this going and sticking with us for some time. But yeah, have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.